Okay, so good evening, and today we are going to start with this topic in geography, which is resource and development. So, if we start and go by the definition of the term resource, what do we understand is that resource is anything which is useful for the mankind. And when we talk about the resource that is useful for mankind, we divide the resources into two types. One is the natural resource and other is the man-made resource. So talking about the natural resource, it could be minerals, it could be coal, it could be iron. And talking about the man-made resource, it could be something which is very technologically related, and or it could be anything which is the creation of the man, right? So it could be starting from the furniture to the mobiles to the laptop and to the cars and everything which is the creation of the man. So resources are further classified into a lot of types: renewable, non-renewable, and biotic, abiotic. So first of all, we are kind of discussing that what are the three conditions that we have in our geography book, right, which are required to be satisfied when we talk about the definition of the term resource, right? So in order to be classified as a resource, we need to put in three conditions, right? So first, it has to be technologically accessible. And when we talk about accessibility, we talk about that it should be affordable, right? So any resource which is not affordable by the common man, or which is expensive, or which is not technologically advanced, then that would not qualify for the definition of the term resource. And second is that it should be very much culturally accepted. So with this we mean that across the globe people are able to access that resource. Suppose we have created a app, we have created an application for any kind of service, okay, any kind of books which is provided. So what would be the use of this resource, right? That if it's not culturally accepted, by which we mean that the people all across the globe, not just India, they are able to access this resource, right? And third, we would say in the definition of the term resource that we should have the technology as well, right? When we are saying that it should be technologically accessible, okay, so now that I'm giving you lecture, it is accessible to you through the demo video which I'll be uploading. So same way, we are saying that this particular resource has to be, apart from being affordable, it has to be technologically it should have technology, right? And it should be very much affordable, right? So now talking about the classification of resources. So like I told you, resources are divided into a lot of parts. Okay, so first of all, when we study the definition of resource, we discuss about two type of resources. One is biotic and other one is abiotic. So from biotic itself, you can relate that it relates to biology. Okay, so our natural flora, fauna, human beings, these are our biotic resource, whereas abiotic would be non-living things which do not have life, and it could be rocks, it could be metals, it could be minerals. Whereas in biotic we also include human beings within the permit of the biotic resource. Then we come to exhaustibility. When we talk about exhaustibility, that how fast that resource is about to deplete. The renewable resources are some that can be renewed from time to time, whereas non-renewable resources would be resources which cannot be renewed once they are depleted. So that is why we also study the concept of sustainable development in our geography books as well. The concept of sustainable development says development keeping in mind the needs of the future generation. Suppose we understand that water is very scarce, right? So we should use water in such a way that it is also saved for the future generation. And for this, we also had a conference which is known as the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro, which is Brazil, and Agenda 21 pointers were discussed, in which it was categorized that how can we implement the sustainable development goals. Thank you. That's all for the today.